Hi, well, thank you so much, Steve. I am a mom of two. I am a neighbor in this community of the Rio de Ley Subdivision 2. I'm also a leader, parishioner with St. Eugene Catholic Church and Valley Interfaith. And as you well know, we are still fighting this fight against Milwhite Incorporated and the pollution that they're causing over our neighborhood in excess amounts. We have made several attempts to resolve this in every matter possible. We have had zero communication through Milwhite through the course of the last year and a half. The court system through different sources have come into play. I know the city of Brownsville has done their own lawsuit against Milwhite Incorporated. That has yet to provide us any results because of Judge David Sanchez court on the 444 district. We haven't heard from him or he hasn't made any decision in the past 2 months, which still allows this facility to continue to operate and still, if anything, operate even more so as an opportunity to get rid of this product before maybe a temporary order, restraining order is actually allowed. So I feel that there is some type of bias on the courts to allow them to continue to work. There has been other lawsuits against Milwhite that have come into play or come to light. I know that their own insurance is also suing them. Of course, our community of neighbors is also suing Milwhite Incorporated, and now a fourth member or fourth entity, which is TCEQ, that has elevated or escalated to the Enforcement Division and out to the Attorney General's office, is now suing them as well through the state of Texas. So that just tells you so much of this facility. It tells you that they don't care. They are not following by any rules, whether it's the cities or states. They have zero concern for our health, for our safety. They don't deserve to be operating. There was a time where maybe our neighbors would have maybe come to some type of mediation, but at this point, for a company like theirs to be so irresponsible, I feel that they don't deserve to operate, and they deserve to shut down completely and not even be able to relocate. We are asking the city still for this area to be rezoned, so another facility or even their facility does not come back under a different entity name and then locate themselves and do the same type of business where it will continue to affect us in the future. So that's our concern as citizens, as neighbors, that this stops immediately. We don't want this to occur any more than it needs to.
So since the media coverage started, have things improved in any way? Has there been less dust, less noise, with the company slowing things down in response to public pressure?
Absolutely not. This facility, Milwhite Incorporated, has a zero concern for us. They've, if anything, operated even more so than ever. Our area is just completely impacted with this dust coverage all over our homes, our vehicles, our entire property. People that have solar panels, people that have pools, they're all being impacted economically of all this monies that they have to that they have to put up to fix or maintenance these properties. It's really concerning that such a company like this is allowed to get away with so much. And it's unfortunate, and we feel that we need to put a stop to it, and that cities like Brownsville and TCEQ enforce the regulations so that they have a larger capacity to enforce and stop facilities at the very moment that they show some type of pollution towards a community. I feel that there's no need to delay this process for a year, as we've come to know that this is something that we've been experiencing for the past year and a half. Me, myself anyways, but we have neighbors that have lived there a lot longer that have been experiencing this distress for over 20 years. So this is not fair for us. It's not fair for our community. It's not fair to our health, to our children. The fact that I have to tell my two little girls that they can't go outside to walk, to ride their bikes because there's just a cloud of dust is saddening, that we can't enjoy our own homes, that we can't just be outside in clean air. I feel like we live in a third world country and we don't. We pay our taxes just like everyone else, and we deserve better. We definitely need better from our leaders and from the state.
You've been working closely with the City of Brownsville, in particular Commissioner Macias. Has anyone in the official channels, the city leadership, given you any indication as to why Judge Sanchez is taking so long to rule on their lawsuit?
We haven't had any communication as to why Judge David Sanchez has taken such a long time. It's really on his table, on his court, and he can really take as long as he wants. Like I mentioned, I feel like it is a biased decision. It's really given this opportunity to this company, Milwhite, to continue to operate, almost in a way to allow them to work through their product as fast as they can and finish their contract to their set vendors. And that's not fair to us. That it almost seems like if Judge Sanchez is working with them or knows something where he is allowing this to occur, because otherwise this would have never happened. We presented all the evidence necessary. There was aerial evidence. They lied under oath, and there was just everything that was presented was enough to make a decision right there and then. It was an open and shut case, and we are here still 2 months later with zero decision, zero concern from the judge, zero concern from Milwhite. We're still in communication with Commissioner Linda Macias. We're in communication with State Representative Aaron Gomez. They've been great advocates for our community, and other media sources such as yourself that continue to support our cause and bring awareness that this stops. And I hope from this that we can set a standard for Brownsville in general, for other communities not to be impacted the same way we are in the future. I know that there's other permits that have been set forth through TCEQ to allow for a cement crushing facility north of Brownsville that doesn't meet the basic requirement of being 440 yards. So we hope that this case allows TCEQ to see that they need to enforce the regulations more, that they need to see what they're dealing with in the community. I know they're not here in town, but they need to be able to be more present and now allow companies like this affect communities that have room for growth in other areas of our city.
And in one of the early town hall meetings, I remember hearing GBEG, the leader of GBEG, I know he subsequently left the organisation, the Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation, talking about the possibility of moving Milwhite to an industrial park where the work that they do, the manufacturing they do, would be more appropriate. Have you heard anything more there as to whether Brownsville, the City of Brownsville, can help facilitate the company to get them into a more industrial place?
Right. So those were early attempts on behalf of the City of Brownsville to work with Milwhite Incorporated to come to some type of agreement and pay for half of the moving expenses, if necessary, to those two proposed areas. One of the proposed areas was the Port of Brownsville. Obviously, that would be more, available to them because the port where they're receiving their product from was through shipment purposes, through shipments, boat shipments. And the other facility area that was proposed was the industrial park in Paredes, which is north of Brownsville. North of Brownsville, Paredes location, I saw was not a foreseeable location because there was a lot of homes and room for growth in that area that were within 1,000 feet of communities and neighborhoods. So the best area was definitely the Port of Brownsville area. I feel that as of now or since then, that communication has fallen through because of lack of follow through of Milwhite. They have not come through with with doing the bare minimum of fixing the violations that they have, their fire inspection codes, they're bringing their permits up to date. They have not paid any of their fines. So that conversation is probably not on the table anymore. And I would actually be against that, that they relocate anywhere. I feel that they need to be responsible and be held accountable for everything they've done to this point, and the impact that they've made in the whole community of over 250 homes in just our area, not to mention perhaps even larger diameter area within a 5-mile circumference, right? So I feel that they should just be responsible and pay the consequences and be shut down. They should not be allowed to operate.
Well, those are all the questions I have. Adhlemy, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to add that I am very grateful for everybody that's been part of this cause, everybody that's come together in any way, shape, or form. Valley Interfaith being very, very impactful in our issue, as well as the city leaders that have stepped up to the plate and proven themselves with attempting to fix our issue, even though it has not been a fast process, not that one that we are completely 100% agree with, because we live it every day. If these leaders or these people were to live in our shoes, I feel that they were to act on it a lot quicker. If these were their homes, if these were their families. We breathe this air every day. TCQ's reports, investigation reports, specifically states that investigators have spent an hour of their time investigating this issue, and within that hour they've experienced symptoms of itchy eyes, dust on their eyes, scratchy throats, irritations on their skin. So, and that's within an hour span. Imagine us that live this every day. So it's not fair. I know it's not been a fast process like I mentioned, but I feel I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I can just be able to breathe, hopefully within the next few months, if these temporary orders, restraining orders come through, and the company actually abides by them.
Well, thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you, Steve, for being here, as always.